consider an interview.
That's cool.
I never do, because it don't feel natural.
Gotcha.
Because usually it just don't sound, it don't flow conversation.
You want it organically, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So tell me more about Hello, My Name Is podcast.
Well, Hello, My Name Is podcast. It's a podcast, but the irony of the podcast is everybody to some degree is musically inclined.
Okay.
Whether it's instruments people play, whether it's myself who's an actual artist, whether you have somebody that's an engineer, whether you have somebody who's in that interviewing process, everybody kind of got something to bring to the table. So it's something to look forward to. And I mean, the good thing about it, like I say, everybody's musically inclined. So think about if you have people to come on your set, the music's right there.
It's true.
Look no further. Everything's right there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I caught you. I actually liked and favorited y'all page when I saw what y'all had.
Appreciate that.
I like the round table view y'all got too.
Yes,
like across the
I
room.
do too. Yes.
And then the camera pans to each person.
Yes.
I wish I had a cameraman on file to do the same
we
thing.
We need the same thing too, but we usually do that ourselves.
Really?
That's all us. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's just somebody sitting there holding it and trying to make sure and then kind of pass the phone around. So that way nobody be talking about their arms are getting tired.
That makes sense. All right. Yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all, bro. I was telling somebody the other day, they was like, why don't you just invite everybody, to be on your podcast? I was like, well, maybe people want their own platform. I was like, I would like to see a lot more podcasts automobile, because there's a lot of conversation to be had here and a lot of point of views. One person in particular, I'm definitely advocating for getting the podcast is Kara.
Yes. A lot of personality.
Oh my God, man.
A lot of personality, but a beautiful spirit at the same time.
Exactly. And a hell of a story also at that. And I honestly look forward to those videos, those shorts she do in the morning to kind of get my day going as well.
And that's the crazy thing, because I do the same thing. Only difference is I don't record myself doing it. I started off and I was like, nah, but I've been writing Thought for the Days for 10 years straight almost.
Share them, man.
I do share them. So when you hit this is what I do. I send somebody one on Facebook. Like I post one on Facebook. Okay. Then I send a complete different one on Instagram. Then I post a complete different one on Snapchat. So that way I can gravitate and get your attention 3-4 different ways. You don't know what angle I'm gonna come at, because they're not all the same. That's why I enjoy doing it. But the beautiful part about it is I do it because you never know who you can inspire. So Thought for the Day started for me just based off me doing what Upward Bound, and I didn't really know where I was going with it. Like for its college, I mean, I knew I could go, but I didn't put much thought into it. And I had a mentor that made me look at life in a whole different perspective. So when I felt like those were glasses, and she made me see life in a whole different realm. So I was like, if she can do that for me, imagine what you can do for somebody else.
Facts.
So I do the same thing. I don't record myself doing it. I just posting and going on about my day.
Okay. I feel that. The reason I brought that up is because when I started doing podcast recordings, at first I wasn't doing video. I was doing all audio. And my cousin, who's an artist too, Steve O'Strapped, he hit me up. He was like, yo, man, because he's the one that's really been giving me constructive criticism from behind the scenes. And he's been like, the audio's dope, but people want to see who they talking to.
They definitely do.
And I was like, He was like, if somebody's going to sit there and listen,
give them something.
Don't you want to see who you talking to? Like, even when you're on the phone, people, that's why they got FaceTime now. Right. People want to see who they talking to, and it makes sense. So I was like, man, where I'm going to get a camera from? And he was like, you got a phone. And for the longest, I didn't even tell people that I was recording with my phone. People was asking me where I got my camera from, because I get equipment questions all the time. And they was like, where you get your camera from? And I'm like, AT&T. You got to lease that mug. You better put it to use for something.
Well, right.
So that's what I've been doing. So all you need is a phone and some will, and you can make it happen.
And eventually you'll jump across the cameras and whatnot. Eventually, hey. You crawl before you walk. It's cool.
Hey, I'm pricing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Hopefully they got like some sort of layaway or something.
I'm sure they do.
Sure.
Christmas around the corner.
Man, preach. I'm waiting for Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I get one for like $20.
That, but not for the gifts. I'm waiting for that, but I'm waiting for alumni.
Oh.
You know it. turn up be ours.
November
be ours.
Y'all, oh my God. I've
Don't
never
play.
seen so many.
That school spirit real.
Cuss.
I bleed that orange and green. I mean, we serious about that orange and green. And it's my 10th year this year, so.
Oh man,
you know I'm looking forward to
it.
Like, don't worry, I will. Sam's just don't know I won't be there. They're gonna find out today, but I'm gonna be there.
Hey, hopefully this is after,
Hopefully.
or if it ain't, it is what it is.
Right.
Hey,
I ain't hiding it. Hey, that's what PTO time is there for. You should
that's
give
true.
it to me.
I need to start back saving mine while I'm talking.
Hey,
because
mine's in the bucket. I don't do what you want to do with it. Don't give it to me and tell me how to use it.
That's true. So. I can't. I'm not gonna say what company I work for, but the mugs told me on October 1st the entire month is blacked out, so you can't.
That's just October.
Yeah.
See, we have October, but then it goes into November, and then it goes into December. So they have specific dates. Like we find out. I don't know if this is a new system that we're running now, where it is a new system to where we're now just finding out what key event days are. So imagine if you put your 6 months, you know what I'm saying, you put your time in, and you tell me, well, you can't get this day. Well, how was I supposed to know that this was a key event day? You didn't take it upon yourself to notify me, to pull me in the office and say, hey, let's talk about this. Right. So I'm going to do what I need to do, but in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to use you to get what I need to get. Thank you.
All right, Daddy. Hey. All right. Well, question. You mentioned that you're an artist. Mm-hmm. So I always bring this question to light. Now, normally I say top 3, but given that music is such a large genre, I'm gonna give you 5.
Top 5 artists?
Top 5 artists that inspired you.
Tupac.
Okay.
Lauryn Hill. Aaliyah. I could go back. Gotta do Curtis Blow. You gotta pay homage to the people. I gotta do MC Light.
Okay.
I gotta do Queen.
All right.
I mean, I gotta represent for my women.
All right. Love it. I actually met MC Light when I was young.
And it's crazy because when I was in creative writing class at Bishop, that's what they called me. And I'd be like, no, I'm not her. That lady, legendary. Not her, at least not yet.
I appreciate that humbleness.
Not yet, no.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, that's the only way you're going to get there. We all started from somewhere. Sure. And I never want to get beyond myself till I lose who I am, trying to figure out and please other people.
Sure.
I want to be me. So if I can keep people around me that keep me grounded, that keep me humble, keep me sustained to not doing everything you see everybody, I don't want to lose myself.
All right, then. I heard that. Okay. Well, you can't beat that. I appreciate you keeping that sense of identity and ambition at the same time.
Of course.
It's like moving forward while remembering where you came from. So, respect.
Never forgetting where you come from. And I always be humble enough to help somebody in the past. Like, look back, and I would never make it. That's one thing I hate about Mobile. Like, it's that crab in a bucket mentality. And it's so much talent down here.
It is.
And it's crazy because half of the friends that I have, it's not meant purposefully for me to meet them and they do music. It's not something that we plan, but ironically, everybody that runs in my circle for the most part does music. Why? What God is trying to teach me, I don't know. But I'm enjoying the moment of it. But I definitely say I make it, we make it. I feel bad if I make it and I don't take somebody with me. Now, granted, it may not be right away because I got to get established first. But I will come back. And I want to put Mobile on the map because it's a lot of talent here. But think about it. Who's done it? Who's left? And actually, I would be the first if I was to do that.
That's true.
It's one thing to talk it, but I haven't seen anybody do it.
It's true. It is a little bit of a I'm going to get me first type of mentality. And it's sad.
Definitely.
Because at the end of the day, knowledge is meant to be shared, period. If you eat and someone else eat, they'll do the same. Right. And it's enough space at the table.
And I look at it like this, even if we ain't friends, we ain't on the same page, it's cool. I still want you to eat, just not at the table with me. Notice I say I still want you to eat, just not with me. So it's okay for you to still do your own thing. I ain't gonna hate you, because that's blocking my blessings. That's how I look at it. So why be mad, upset, and bitter with you? And you around here, whoop-de-whoop, it ain't bothering you. I'm the one messed about it, so no.
That does make sense. They out here living life and you bitter.
Right. And where's that getting me? Yeah, nowhere. And they're
Facts.
prospering. And I'm still in a dream, right?
Right.
Still
right.
dreaming.
All right. Okay. I hear you. Well, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Businessman. Told you I was going to do it.
Hey, that's cool.
It's your boy, Siir. And today I got a special guest, Black on Black Rhyme, in the building.
You see it?
Hey, Kenda Edwards. I'm going to let her introduce herself because she got plenty of hats. Plenty of them.
Yeah, I go by Kenda Edwards. Some people know me for Young Gunna. That's my poetry name. I also do music, so I go by Classy K. And shout out to Exclusive because that's my music group. And my podcast, my name is Scrap. By the way, my podcast name is Hello, My Name Is. So yes, I do wear a lot of different hats.
All right. Well, cool. So with that being said, how long have you been active in music?
Active in music, I would say I jumped out the womb when it comes to that. But I've been writing since the age of 11.
Really?
Since the age of 11. I think I've been doing freestyles since probably 8 or 9. It's crazy. Like,
to what? If you don't mind me asking.
Beatboxing just to whatever I felt, like whatever I feel like, because I feel like everybody is expressive in their own different way. So who am I to tell you how to use your creativity? I can't.
Right. Okay. Because I've spoken with, and then this is a recurring story. I feel like I've spoken in Eternity's interview. We talked about how we used to listen to, older rap from back in the days, and then you make your own lyrics to their music,
Exactly.
and you learn beats and things that way in a pattern and rhythm.
And I don't feel like we as artists pay homage to the legendary folks, because if they didn't do it, how would you even have the platform that you have? So
right.
Why not pay homage to them?
Right.
Every second I get, I'm gonna thank you. I'm gonna thank you because I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you to some degree.
Hey, preach. All right. So that leads me to one of my new questions I want to ask you. One of my curveballs I was going to tell you. Like, always coming up, we develop into who we are. You're never exactly who you are that day when you start. So what were you like as a child?
Not much has changed as a child. I would always be into something. I knew how to talk my way out of everything.
Finesser.
Very, call it what you like. I was always outspoken. I believe in speaking my mind. I can honestly say I got that from my dad. But pretty much, I've always been someone who stands my ground.
Okay.
Can't pretty much stray me away. Learn to just be my own person and not try to be what everybody wants me to be, but more so of who I want to be.
Okay.
Because when you're trying to please everybody, where do you get? I'm the one that's left feeling unhappy or miserable about this because I'm trying to accommodate your feelings. And I just can't do that. I mean, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, rather.
Sorry, not sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned with music, since you come out, since you've been young, you've been into kind of the cadences. If you're into like talk your way out of things, you learn how to speak.
Mass manipulator early. And I still got it. So
hey, okay.
I'm sure my kids will get it too. I mean, goes with the territory.
Well, at least you know the book then.
Yeah,
you can see it coming.
I wrote it, so
Hey.
you might as well.
All right. So with delving into into poetry, I guess since you were writing short stories and things like that, what really inspired? Like what made you pick up that pencil to write those things? Was there an event?
Well, as a kid, I felt like I never was the type to go to anybody and talk about my problems. So granted, that's all I had. My pen and my pad is my best friend, if you ask me. Anything I need to write, it was always there. I didn't have to worry about being judged. That's my own canvas. So you can't tell me how to paint the picture that I see. You can only let me draw it, and maybe you can relate, maybe you can't. Okay.
You said something that caught my attention. You said that you didn't really go to other people.
Yeah, I never, because people, I ain't gonna say I didn't have the outlet to go to people and talk, but I just, we as black people, I feel like you're taught to, what happens in this house stays in this house mentality. True. So I look at that more so as you trying to let people into your private life, and that's not something I ever cared to do. So I've kept a lot of things suppressed and bottled in, which that's where the poetry and the writing comes out, because everything that I once suppressed or that I was holding in, I'm letting it out. Different outlets, whether it's music, whether it's poetry, whether it's whatever it is, painting, drawing, whatever.
Okay.
Just creative expression.
I understand that. Taking those real life instances and translating it. I get that. That does make for beautiful art because it comes from a place that's real.
Definitely.
All right. I respect that. So, with that being the case, were there any obstacles that came along the way of this?
Of course. You always have that. I think we all go through that phase in life where you're trying to find who you truly are. So that's my biggest obstacle, was trying to figure out who Kenda was.
Okay.
You know, what Kenda has to offer. Granted, you know it sometimes, but you don't always come to terms with it, I would say. Like, you know it, but do you really know it? Seems like everybody else can identify what's so special about you that some people may not. So it's like, dang, did I not know how special I really was? So it's the beauty of it is seeing it from somebody else's eye. Because I'm like, man, it's one thing to think I'm a dope rapper, but it's another thing for somebody like a Jay-Z or somebody to say, hey, you dope. Be like, whoa.
Huh.
I thought that, but you just confirmed that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Okay. I can see that, that affirmation from other people. Because as you grow up and you're doing something you love, you do tend to question yourself. I mean, I don't want to say you doubt, but you question your level of ability.
But everybody does. That's part of being a human.
Right. You're your own critic,
Exactly.
Naturally.
Your hardest critic at that.
Truth. All right. So with growing up and obviously going to school, were there any teachers that kind of tried to refine that craft for you of writing?
Definitely. I would say I was always that kid. Like, I did what I was supposed to do, but I still played around too. So I didn't do as much as I could.
Gotcha.
And I think it took for me to meet Miss Kelly, my 12th grade English teacher. And that lady there, when I say wherever she is, I have to thank her. I wouldn't be the writer that I am today because anything I write now is just nothing. But that's because I've written papers that I'm like, why am I writing this? But it had meaning behind it because it taught me how to write. It taught me how to structure things, essays, however you choose to format it. It made sense. What once didn't make sense, it's like, oh, so this why I had to learn this to get this. And
okay.
It made sense.
How did she, I guess, challenge you? Because it sounds like...
How didn't she challenge me? You had papers literally every week. I mean, you think about it. Like a paper. Whether it's stories on Macbeth. And I was like, this happened years before our time. Why are we talking about this? But just challenging you. And you would think, like I say, by that happening in a whole different time period, well, what could this do? But you'd be surprised that some of the same situations that they went through back in that time, we still go through in this time. Okay. Same type of problems, same situations.
Okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
Definitely.
Because you're right. I guess the teacher that did make the biggest influence on me was my high school English teacher. It's funny you say that. And because...
Yeah, English.
Yeah, it was. And that is my favorite subject, consequently.
It has to be.
Because, yeah, that's, man,
you
because it's nothing like writing something you think is perfect and then getting humbled. You get seeing all them red marks and that red pen.
Right. That's not right. Like, I thought I had an A.
Right.
Like, no, not an A.
Man, shatter your whole world. But it's needed. It's needed.
It is.
It's growth.
Very much so.
All right. Cool. All right. So, I guess going to another one of those pop-up questions I wanted to touch on. If you could, and this is out of left field, by the way, but if you could, I guess talk to God and ask him any one question. Free answer. He just tell y'all for it. Because, we, being a spiritual person I am, I feel like we pray for that answer, and we'll get it indirectly. It may not be right then. It could be later. It could be through something else. But if you had that one question, he was right here, and you would just ask him, and he'd just tell you right now, what would be that one question you'd ask?
What is my purpose? What is my purpose?
Ooh.
And what is my purpose here on life, and what is my vessel to help use to help someone else?
Okay. Do you feel you'd be prepared for that answer?
Yeah, I would be prepared. Because whether good or bad, he's told me the answer. Only thing I can do now is to prepare myself for what's to come, because he's giving me the answer. And I look at life like that. Like, I really do. It's like a movie. He's the director. He already knows the way the format, the story's gonna go. You're the main character. You don't know, but as you're reading along and you're playing that character, you find out.
Okay, I appreciate you not being afraid of the answer. Most people would be too afraid to open that box.
I'm an open box. Ain't no need to.
Hey, preach. So, going back to something we talked about earlier about you playing, different roles, having many hats. Like, the number one problem I have is time management. I will admit that day in, day out, I am terrible at keeping up with dates and stuff. If it wasn't for Google Calendars, I would be in trouble. As you saw last week, I thought the interview was last Sunday. It's this Sunday.
I'm like, no, I thought I had to go back and look at my message. Just to make sure.
Look, it's real out here. My memory is not what it used to be. But how do you manage to balance work and your personal life?
It's just that. They're both very different. And as long as I keep them from one another, they're even better. They don't mesh. They're not supposed to mesh. Mm-hmm. Business is business. Personal is personal. And I've noticed when you mix the two, what a disaster. So I care not to intertwine. I don't.
That is probably
separately.
Yeah, that's probably the most interesting answer I've heard.
Wow, why is that?
A lot of poets I spoke with say they tend to mix the two because of their passion for both. That passion for life does tend to bleed into the poetry, and the poetry.
But it doesn't have to be. Life is all about choices.
That's true. And choices is different for everybody.
Right, you're right. But then see some of the decisions that come from those very choices, then you start to question them. A lot of decisions that you're forced with to face, you may didn't even have to go through that if you just chose properly.
Okay. All right. Okay. Philosophize me, man. I'm with it. Okay. So this question is probably one of my favorite personal ones, because it forces you to look back at your life as a whole. So if you could choose one moment that's probably your most memorable, probably your favorite memory overall, whether it's a birthday, it's a party, or a session, or a set, what is probably your most memorable moment?
My most memorable moment? Poetry-wise, or you just mean life?
Period.
In life, I would have to say graduating.
Elaborate.
I say graduating college for me easily, because it's one thing to graduate from high school. I look at that more so as I did that for my parents. But then when I graduate college, that's an accomplishment that I did for me. No one can take that from me, either degree, but college is more meaningful to me because I can honestly look back and say, I did that. I didn't have anybody holding my hand. Mom, them take you to school and everything. Well, when you hit college, there's nobody. Yeah. When people say, you can get it how you live, you figure it out. In college, they mean that. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely say college, graduating college. Okay. And I plan to do that again.
All right.
Got to.
I respect that. What was your major?
My major at the time, it was nursing. But
really?
Then I changed. I lost one of my oldest aunts. I was like this close from getting ready to apply for the program and everything, and I think it kind of.
That's crazy.
It's crazy how life works, because at the time when I lost her, it was, you read everything that you know what I'm saying, you read this stuff, but it's another thing when you face it. Mm-hmm. So I'm taught this, but this is my loved one here, so it's completely different. And then you fast forward, I lose my godmother last March.
Sorry.
No problem, thank you. I lose her last March, and then I look at it and I'm the one that's having to break things down chronologically, talking with the nurse in medical terminology, but then putting in lateness term for everyone else to understand. And I never forget her last little thing that I remember about my godmother was they put her on a feeding tube, and putting on a feeding tube, and then when they took her off of the machine or whatever, she had that suction or whatever, so you had to suck out, the saliva, because, if she can die if you don't,
right.
Clean it out. And nobody wanted to do that. And I never forget the doctor's name. Her name was Summer, and she's like, Kenda, I know you say you don't want to do this, but I need you to strongly consider that. So it makes me I'm in limbo. I love it, but then you think about it. You grow attached to people. It's not purposely done, but how do you not grow attached? Like, you build relationships with people. So tell me how do I say you've lost your loved one and not have some type of compassion, not be just as hurt behind it to tell you as you are, because this is your loved one. So that's the hard part I have with it.
I respect that. It's funny. One of my questions up there is, what's a death that shook you?
I have plenty. But I would say they shook me in the right direction. Every time I lose somebody, I feel like that's an eye-opener for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but whether it be my grandmother, whether it be my Auntie Jean, whether it's been my godmother, whether it's been my Aunt Boo, everybody that has passed, I would say, has had some type of effect on me, but all in different ways. But it's a good thing, because the great thing about it is I know what they expect of me. So even though I don't have them with me in the physical sense, spiritually wise, I know everything there is for me to know as far as the format and what they would expect of me to do. So if I'm doing something out the ordinary, I get that feeling like, hey, you know this ain't what such want. So I carry that with me. So they're still with me. That's how I look at it.
Love it. Love that. It's funny. I don't know what it is about aunts, but everybody got at least that one cool aunt.
That was Auntie Jean for me.
Man.
Easily. That's like mom to me.
Man.
I can go to Auntie. It's crazy because I can go to Auntie and talk to Auntie about things I couldn't go to mom and talk to mom.
Right.
It was just that open dialogue.
That is. Like, you just said it.
Everybody don't have it, and that's special. But then I feel like it's even more special because especially if they don't have any children. Mm-hmm. They living vicariously through y'all anyway. So
right.
It's like, well, baby, your mama said you can't have it, but I'm going to get it to you anyway. So.
It's funny you brought that up because my aunt at one point was also my English teacher.
So you know before cut, you know slang.
Man, you want to know how shook I was? I had to transfer to Theodore Middle, and I look at my schedule. Don't pay it no attention for real. Where is it at? Found it. I walk into the last class of the day, and there she is.
Not the last class.
And she was so hard on me.
Yes, I can only.
If I slipped and called her Aunt Carolyn, and she docked me points on my quiz for that. She was like, "No, ma'am." Right. She was like, I do not play that. I am Miss P.
Because I can't give you no special privileges.
Right. She was exceptionally hard on me. Exceptional, but I appreciate it though. Exactly. Because it gave me a realistic view of the world, you know.
Exactly. And that's how I feel about people. Like, why should I sugarcoat things for you?
Thank you.
Why should I sugarcoat things for you that the real world isn't going to?
That's right.
So if I can't be open and honest with you, then are we really friends?
Cool. I respect that because I've always felt like sugarcoating is lying.
Right.
Always. 100%.
I just ain't got time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't want to walk on eggshells with you.
Right. I ain't got time to tiptoe.
Right. And something I tell my friends, dating and everything, if you're going to be with me in any sort of like communication process whatsoever, we got to keep it 100 because I don't have any time to be wondering what you really think or what you really mean.
When you can just be open and honest about it.
And it might hurt my feelings. It might. I might have to go and think about myself for a moment.
But at the end of the day, if we're friends like we say we're friends, I should be able to talk to you. You should be able to talk to me. You could hurt my feelings. I can hurt yours. But it ain't no love lost at the end of the day.
Right.
It's just a respect level. That's
fact. And at the end of the day, like you said, I don't have to second guess and wonder.
Right. And if I have to question it, then it's not genuine anyway.
There it is. Love it. All right. So I wanted to snag one more question from off that list that I had here. I don't know about you, but I'm always inspired to hear my compatriots spit a poem. Like people I genuinely love. I love to hear them speak of a piece that they love because I ain't gonna say everybody because that'd be assuming. A lot of people don't understand that poetry is so totally different than spoken word. There's a performance piece that has to be included when you think of spoken word. So is there a spoken word piece or a poet that you look at and every time you see them perform you're like, they killed it?
Definitely. Sonny Patterson. Sonny Patterson. it's crazy how I stumbled upon Black on Black crime, but I'll never forget my first gala. Everybody was there for this woman. I mean, it's packed. We I think we were like in a college dorm or whatever. Not a dorm, well, a college auditorium.
Okay.
And so everybody's in there waiting for Sonny. And I'm looking around like, who the hell is this lady? And I was like, man, all right, I'm ready to go. Like, who's this lady that everybody talking about? Like, what she got to offer? And so everybody had gassed up. So I was like, she can't be that good or whatever. That's what I thought. I wasn't saying it, but that's what I was thinking. And so she came out there, not even 2 minutes into a set. I'm looking at everybody else when she come out there. I'm like, psh. And she caught me the first line. I don't know if it's the Orleans accent or what it was, but it struck me. And I've been hooked ever since. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. But that's a very influential woman that I would say for my time when it comes to poetry. I mean, you have to pay homage to the Maya Angelos too, but Sonny is the closest I'm gonna get to the perfection of my generation, I feel like. So if I can aspire to be like anybody, female wise, poet wise, and she's definitely up there for me.
All right. I think that's kind of funny. It's like its own comeuppance. Because you sitting there like, man, she ain't about to get me. And the very first line.
Whatever. The first line. I'm like, wow.
That's hilarious.
Who is she?
Man.
Maybe she is as great as everybody says she is.
Man, I haven't had I haven't been blessed to hear her yet. But
amazing.
I've seen live videos of her spitting.
Yes.
Wasn't she at the
She was at the Black on Black round last year.
Sure was. In fact, I did hear her speak. Now that I think about it, you're absolutely right. Because I did catch her accent, and I was like, "Oh yeah, she from over there." Yeah, it's thick
Creole
too.
Babies.
Yeah, it's thick. It's thick. All right. So, also going back and up to this point, at any point, did you feel that you wouldn't be successful?
Absolutely. I still feel that way from time to time. Or how I like to approach it is, when people say "great job," it's not that I'm not appreciative of it, not at all. I'll say thank you, but it comes across to some people as if like you shortchanging yourself, and I don't look at it as shortchanging because the best is yet to come in my mind. So I look at it more like you was blessed with this, but it gets better. It gets sweeter. I promise you it does. I'm steadily growing in my own tempo. So that's just how I look at it. So best is yet to come. I always say that.
All right. Okay. Another random one. I got one for you to keep you on your toes.
Come on.
Favorite guilty pleasure?
Favorite guilty pleasure? Candy.
What kind? Go ahead. Go ahead, cuz.
Skittles, Twix. I love all kind of candy. Starburst, M&M,
I have a
Snickers.
That's my favorite. Maybe I'm just classic and I'm old school.
Snickers definitely love though, because maybe I'm just not myself as they.
Man, I see what you did there. See, you Betty Whiting,
maybe I'm
not
just
yourself
not,
when you're hungry. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've always been. I wasn't much on like Skittles and Starburst, but I think growing up, because I did so much of it as a kid, like by the time I hit like 12, I was like, I'm straight. Like, I used to do ring pops. What was the kind of candy you had like a little thing and you could dip it, you lick
like
it,
like a sucker, and then it dip it in the powder. I can't think of what it's called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
That I used to get that almost every day. And do you remember when Fagos used to come in the glass bottle?
Yes.
Them.
We still sell those.
What? Are you
I think
serious?
We do still sell those. Yes. If we don't have them, I'm sure somebody. I've seen that in some store, whether it's Publix or somebody got them.
I just want one, just one, because I haven't had one.
The glass bottle.
In the glass bottle, it's got to be in the glass bottle, because when you drink, you gotta make that little noise after you drink it. Right. That's the key part. That's the key part.
Oh man, that's.
You gotta excuse me. And
you're good.
Between those and. Do you remember the popsicles that you had to break in the middle that snap? If I could find those, I'll be straight before the summer's
They don't
out.
even make ice cream like that no more.
They don't.
Know what these kids got.
No offense. She out.
Right.
The candy stuff they got now is trash. All right. So, Kenda, this next question is what I call the future question. I'm sorry, I ask everybody this question because I always wonder what they think of for themselves in the future. Because if you're going to think success, you have to. You can't just live day to day and not think ahead. So, where would you like to see yourself as an artist, poet, person, auntie, in 1 year, 3 years, and then in 10 years?
In the 1 year, I would like to be to put out a whole compilation, like an album, at least one album, to give the people, you know what I'm saying, so you can know me, like really know me, who I am behind the music, not just what you hear me on. Because I feel like everybody doesn't rap on or talk about who they really genuinely are. So I want to give you who I am wholeheartedly, not who I'm pretending to be. Yeah, definitely want to put some out there. Shake the game up a little bit, just a little.
I find that interesting. I've never heard anyone put it that way before.
What?
Putting out like a compilation to see the real you, because usually, and this
facade. It's a facade.
I won't even say a facade. I say it's a persona, because facade means it's not true.
Okay.
And a persona is a piece of you, just on 10.
Okay, that's a good way of looking at it.
So I just find that interesting. To show the truth of you in a compilation.
Whether it be poetry, whether it be music, whether it's a combination of both. I mean,
that'd be a dope, kind of a fusion of both. That's why, honestly, to this day, my favorite artist right now, Big Crit, because the fact.
But don't get the respect they probably deserve. Don't get it.
So underrated.
Very much so. But never cease to amaze me.
Every single time. And I saw him perform in Pensacola.
How was that?
You was?
I said, how was that?
Oh, I thought you said you was there. I was going to say, what?
I said, how was that?
It was actually my first concert. And I have anxiety. So being around a bunch of people is kind of not my thing. But it was a crowd full of people all on the same thing. Just that it hit great music. And there's no better vibe than that.
That's the beauty of it.
Bumped into a dude. Oh man, my bad, bro. You fine? I shouldn't have leaned so hard. My bad, brother. Lady bumped into me. Excuse me. Like that. Step on shoe. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right. I got my drink. I'm sorry. Like that makes it worthwhile. And then,
are they on the same vibe you on?
Nobody's there to fight. Nobody's there to smoke. Well, I ain't gonna say they weren't there to smoke. That'd be a lie. But everybody was there to enjoy great music. And when he came, he brought that same energy back. And my only regret is that I didn't wear comfortable shoes because I stood up the entire time. 4 hours. Yeah, I was weak.
No chairs?
None. Well, VIP had chairs. And we were general admission. But hey, I was there. I don't care.
We were there for the show. We didn't care about the seats.
Yeah, man. And he brought his T.I. son was there.
Which one?
Damani. I didn't even realize who he was at first. I was like, oh, who's this light-skinned cat? And then my girl was like, oh, that's Damani. I was like, Harris? So it took a while for it to click. I'm like, oh, that's T.I. kid, and he did a great job as well opening for him. So it was just the vibe. I was astounded. And that's why I love your poetry shows like Black on Black Rhyme and Power Lines, no disrespect to them. But with y'all tend to have like a jazzy, intimate, like soulful vibe. I think about my first experience with you guys was like, I think September, October last year at Architecture with Miss Latasha's spot. And I fell in love with y'all, man. I was like, when the next show? A month. I was hurt. But man, I hate I missed y'all last night. I really did.
That's the good one, but hey, there's always more.
I'll be at the next one.
Every second Saturday of the month. It's fine.
I'm gonna be there. So that brings me to another one of my odd questions.
Go ahead.
Now this one's a deep one. Now, nobody's gonna be here forever, right? One day we will perish, and it's all about the legacy you leave behind. As far as your family and friends, who do you think, if you had to choose, is going to be the one to cry at your funeral? And who's going to be that person, that one, that's going to actually laugh at the funeral?
I don't think anybody would laugh, but I'm such a goofball anyway. I can't lie. So if they laughing, it's probably something I've done that I probably don't remember. But I definitely think my niece would cry. Like, that's like my child. That's my shadow. You see her, you see me. You think that's my kid, and I'm like, no, she's just my niece. But yeah, definitely her.
And I say laugh. It isn't for the sake of how she's dead. No, of course. It's that.
It's memories that you made.
Yeah, that.
Timeless moments.
Right. Because I brought up that question because at the latest funeral I went to, I actually did that. And the reason I did it is because one of the women that was speaking brought up an old story that I was there for. And I was like, that was actually a hilarious day. And so I'm sitting there, like, she's done speaking. But and I'm just sitting here, head down, just
reflecting on that memory,
just laughing, and people are looking at me, and it just struck me as odd. It's like, really, it's a homegoing celebration, so why shouldn't I laugh?
Exactly, you're celebrating life with the life that this person once lived. So if you know them for having those funny goofball moments, I mean, everybody has some type of funny in them at some point with a moment. So I think it's okay. I'm not mad if you sit and laughing at my film. I know I could have fooled in real life. So. Hey, ain't no taking it back. It is what it is.
Hey, life, love. That's what it's all about. So, Kenda, this question, it's not really a question. It's just your time to shine here. Like I tell everybody else, the hardest thing to do when you have an idea is to step out on your own.
Right.
What words of encouragement would you have for that person who has an idea or a skill that they're afraid to share, but definitely feels that urge to do so? What would you tell them?
Be you. Never be afraid to be who you genuinely are. Who wants the... I want the carbon copy. I want the real deal. I don't want the fake. So just be you. And I feel like everybody has something to offer. So who am I to tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that? Some of the greatest of the greats have failed. Everybody's going to fail at some point in time, but it's not how you fall, it's how you recover. So walk out there, step out there. You'd be surprised at what you find if you just step on out there.
Alright, cool beans. Tiptoe on out there.
Tiptoe, however you want to do it. Tiptoe, two-step, whatever you want to do.
Heel toe.
Whatever you want to do.
Right.
Bankhead bounce, whatever you want to do.
Caught me on that one.
Whatever.
Soldier slide.
Hey, whatever.
Hey, Kenda, I appreciate you taking time out your day to come do this for me.
No problem.
If anyone wanted to get in contact with you, whether it be about music, whether it be about poetry, or just have an idea they want to share with you, or might even want to collab on something, who knows? What would be the best method to reach you?
People have been hitting me up on social media all the time, so I just say go there. Just go on my Facebook page, or Instagram, or Snap. If you're serious about it, it doesn't matter to me where you hit me up.
Okay.
As long as I can genuinely tell you're serious and this is something you're very, very passionate, interested in, because I don't want to waste your time, but I don't want to waste mine either. So hit me up whenever you're ready, whether it's, like I said, Facebook, phone, however you choose to do it. It's fine with me.
Alright, well, I'm going to include the links on this video where you can see her name. You can catch her on Facebook. You heard what she said. Just come with serious inquiries only. So, Kenda, this has been 2020 Podcast. I'm your boy, Siir. This is Kenda Edwards, Young Gunna.
Appreciate that.
AKA Scrap. You know what it is. And we out. That's it, bro.
That wasn't too bad. That wasn't bad at all. I thought you were going to hit me with the year 3, with the year 10. I had all that ready.
Oh, man. Shucks.
I had all that ready.